Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got here for Aries gang? In mid-April, the Rams. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries gang in mid-April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? And while we get this card out, I want to once again wish you all a very happy birthday from me to you, whether your birthday's already passed, whether it's still coming up. Really hope you have a great one, my friends. Mine just passed on the 8th. I mentioned it last week. So we're going to see. I'm sending you lots of good birthday wishes, but let's see what shows up this week. There we go. Nice. Okay, cool. Queen of Cups. Beautiful. And obviously, this isn't a classic tarot deck, but when I see her, there is this little Queen of Cups vibe that I always link to this card. She has like all the same symbolism, and that can be really good. There's a lot of really nice aspects to the Queen of Cups. Something here about emotions as well. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye. You know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So again, we see this lovely lady sitting here. She's in this big throne that seems to be made of seashells, dipping her foot down here in the koi pond with little koi fish swimming around. So huge Queen of Cups symbolism and aspects here. So for some of you, maybe you have some water sign placements. Maybe you're connected to a water sign. The thing about the Queen of Cups to me is it's beautiful, it's creative, it's extremely emotional. She could tie into matters of the heart, matters of things or people that we're emotionally invested in, or just emotions in general. But usually she's like a double dose. So for some Aries, I know we get the reputation for being a little headstrong, a little aggressive sometimes. When I see the Queen of Cups, that might be a little more tender. So for some Aries, you might just be in a little more of a tender place. Maybe you have a little softer edge to you when this is here. It cares quite a bit, and it's great for any creative aspect or creative pursuit. So whether it's creative problem solving, things for business, or just expressing yourself, I really love her. The only thing to watch out for with the Queen of Cups energy is emotional suppression, because the energy around her is so intense that like if you suppress it, eventually it will come back up. So just watch out for that. We're just going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries gang. What do we got in mid-April? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Big Win Incoming, which is really good. Now, for me, I always say wins come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. Sometimes a win could be a couple of really good days. Maybe it's a monetary thing, a work thing, career thing. I did see a lot of great monetary energy last week in specific personal relationships. All that could be in play. So if you didn't have a win that you could think of, that could still be coming, right? I always say these energies could bleed over for a couple weeks, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Aries gang. What do we have in mid-April? Thank you. Hermit. Okay. Quiet. Very quiet. And I don't dislike the Hermit. You know me, I usually like an action card right here in the front. But I'll take the Hermit. There's a certain wisdom there. It's very introspective. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Aries? Page of Swords. Very observant. Very, very observant energy here with this page. Let's get one more. I feel neutral about what I'm seeing here so far. And then we got the Magician. Beautiful stuff. So total, like big switch or shift of energy from front to back, that's for sure. Great eye for detail for some reason as well. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always like to look at the elements first. Interesting mixture this week. It's not too lopsided one way or another. I feel like elements are important because they frame the reading for us. We got earth, air, and then this Magician back here. That's the master of all elements. So it's like we have a little bit of everything happening. Now, the one thing I like about Earth is that it could be very solid, stable, and secure. It could represent routine, inner security, and stability. It could represent day to day life. So, like what you do on a daily basis. Earth is great for the money, the finances, investments, anything that deals with the earthly, family, home. So, you see what I mean? The Earth energy is the world that we live in. The downside to Earth energy, especially for Aries like us, is it could sometimes move a little too slow. It might be a little frustrating. But the energy does do a little shift on us because when we get to the middle, we have air. Now, that's an element that Aries is very comfortable with. I always say air is very logical, it's very pragmatic, straight to the point. It's honest, it's something about clarity. I really like the air element. It's total opposite of what we were seeing with the Queen of Cups in the beginning, where like the Queen of Cups is matters of the heart and just very soft. This one is like, nope, I'm right down to business, very strict and straightforward. The downside to air, sometimes it could be aloof, sometimes it could be a little cold and detached. So we'll keep an eye on it. And then, of course, the Magician back here, that's a spiritual, universal type of energy. Remember, all elements are expressed here. So it's an intriguing mixture, tons of spiritual energy, things working in the ether this week. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting here with the Hermit. Now, for some Aries, if you have any Virgo placements, if you're connected to a Virgo, that could be it right there. And I already mentioned that, I love action cards. The Hermit isn't really an action card in the first spot. If it is taking action, it's pulling its energy backwards. It's retracted, it's pulled back. Now, before I get into the challenges that this card can show, I'm going to give you some of the positives. It's very spiritual, tons of wisdom, insight, and knowing. So for some Aries, maybe your focus is inward, or maybe Spirit's asking, like, hey, pull that focus inward. There's something about the inside here with this card. So I love the Hermit, and it's highly intelligent, very wise. The downside, it's quiet. It's very hush hush. This could represent things that are kind of hidden, obscured, in the dark. Watch out for communication issues. That could be a big thing when it comes to the Hermit. But it is very, very analytical. That's the thing. Whether it's inward or outward, there's this really strong energy of analysis right here on the front end. But yeah, with the Hermit, the downside to this, just watch out for communication issues. Sometimes it could be solitude or loneliness. Something feels missing potentially for some Aries, not every single one. But we'll circle back on him because, again, this Hermit could be actually very, very good. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Page of Swords. I usually like pages, especially the air element that works well with Aries. But all pages to me are students and messengers. This one is as well, so it's great for new things coming in, but there's a difference with this page. It's a little defensive, it's a little cautious. So for some Aries, maybe Spirit's like, all right, just be a little cautious, keep an eye on this. Like there's something about this page that there is a seriousness to it, but it is analytical. A lot of readers call this the Watcher of the Tarot deck. So like when I see the Hermit, when I see the Page of Swords, it's either searching for something or it's like keeping an eye on something. There is some sort of watching that could be happening with this Page of Swords. Of course, it could be a conversation of some sort. So we'll see what's going on with this page. But there's a lot of analyzing, watching, breaking things down. And yeah, we'll have to see what's going on here. I am getting this very stern type of energy as well. So I'm not sure if that's you or somebody else, where it's like it seems like it's about business. Now, moving to the back end, we have one of my favorite cards in the deck. We have the Magician. Beautiful. Love it. Again, master of all elements, and this is highly spiritual as well. So this could represent spiritual ritual, spiritual practice. A huge card when it comes to manifesting. And I'm a big believer that all human beings, we're all creators to a certain extent. Some of us have it honed a little more, some of us a little less. We're all on a different journey. So when I see this Magician, it's very magnetic. It's creating things. It's pulling things to it. So I really want to see what this is because I feel like I've seen that in recent weeks for Aries where there's like this energetic vortex where I'm pulling things to me. So this could be great. Now, the downside to the Magician, it could represent situations involving control, whether it's situations that you want to control, situations that you can't control. All of that can be in play because what does the Magician want to do? It wants to control its material world around it. And again, that could be great, but at the same time, we do need to look at it further. Um, Something in the energy here. So we have the caution, we have the vortex, we have an energy that's getting down to business. There is this energy of control as well that's like really strong within the whole reading. But I want to dive deeper on all this Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's Let's get a good shuffle here for Aries gang. What's happening, please? What do we got for Aries? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Hermit. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Hermit here, please? What's going on with this Hermit? Thank you. Yeah, very planned out. Okay, super strategic. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Second time we're seeing this Page of Energy, and this one does have a lot of similarities to this Page of Swords, right? Like they do have a lot of things in common. But the Page of Pentacles is a little more open. So we have this like front and back and forth, like open, closed, open, closed. So watch out for any situations in this time that are like hot, cold, up, down. This way, 1 second. There's like a not a huge consistency I'm picking up here, which is could be frustrating for some of you. So whether it's someone's energy that's coming through in an inconsistent way, or just a situation where it's very hot and cold, but there is something here around the conversation. And when I get like the Hermit with the Page of Pentacles, it's like I want to choose my words carefully. So again, that could be advice for some Aries where it's like, hey, you might be having a talk come up, just choose your words carefully when this happens. Or this could be somebody planning that as well. But with the Hermit, the hidden, the mystery, the Page of Pentacles, this could be a surprising or unexpected talk or message. But it's like, it's only surprising from one end. That's how it feels to me. Where like someone could be planning this conversation, but the other party doesn't know yet. So just take that for whatever it's worth. Could be having a lot of interesting combos sprung on you in this time. But there is somebody really wanting to choose their words very carefully. That's like the big vibe I'm picking up here in the front. There's the strategy, the planning. It's like, I want to do this the right way. So it's like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it the right way. Okay, we're going to keep moving. We're going to see what that Page of Swords has. So a lot of this very similar energy in the front. But let's go in on the Page of Swords, and we'll keep it moving over to that Magician. So communication seems to be heavily in play this week. Let's see what's up. Why is that Page of Swords here? Why is that Page of Swords here? All right. So either this energy is not extremely reactive or responsive, or it's like really taking its time in its response. So again, that could be advice for some of you from Spirit as well, where it's like, hey, if this combo does pop up on you, maybe you don't have to respond right away, or there could just be something where it's like, let that marinate for a second. Now, the Five of Wands in reverse under the Page of Swords is definitely an energy that doesn't want to inflame things. It's an energy that doesn't want to make things worse. It doesn't want to like start battling and brawling. So we do have this energy that's really choosing its words carefully, or that's the big advice from Spirit. Just like choose the words carefully, choose how you approach this carefully. Usually in the upright, the Five of Wands, you see the people. I always say you don't need to be an expert in tarot to understand this card. We got 5 people going to battle, right? They're beating each other up with sticks. So it can be determined. It could be an energy that's like, hey, I can't stop, won't stop. I have a lot of fire within me and I'm going to keep pushing. That's a great thing. But in reverse, it's like, let's calm this down a minute, or let's not inflame something. So there is something here about having patience with a response. So again, whether it's somebody else taking their time to respond to you, or you taking your time to respond to them, it's like not everything at once. So very intriguing thing here when it comes to the conversation, which I think it's okay for a lot of Aries. And usually it's not really our style. Like if someone brings something to our attention, normally Aries is like, all right, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's get down to the bottom of it. This one is much more strategic. There's like this, I don't know why there's so much planning around responses and how this person is going to react and talk. It's like very intriguing to me because it's coming from both sides. But this is very non-reactive. Page of Swords with the Five of Wands in reverse. It's like, I'm gonna chew on that for a minute. I'm gonna let that marinate. Let's keep going. We're going to see what's up with the Magician. So we got a conversation all over the place this week, my friends. So why is the Magician here for Aries gang? Why is the Magician here? Yeah, it's like both sides are choosing their words extremely carefully in a way. Wow. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we have the Lovers in the upright underneath this Magician. This is one of the best possible pairings we could ask for. in the tarot deck. Now, again, I know not everyone here is watching for love and romance, so we're not just going to put it on that alone. But when I see the Magician with the Lovers, that is great for any interpersonal relationship, whether it is romance, new or old, or friends or family. Magician with the Lovers, there's a certain healing energy here. There's a certain beautiful magnetic pull between you and somebody else, which again, the universe will sometimes set things up even if we're not seeing how. So there could be something going on behind the scenes where the universe is setting everything in place and setting everything in motion. Another thing I'll say about the Lovers, it has the Archangel Raphael on it. That's one of my favorite aspects of this card. So aside from Gemini energy, aside from soul ties, soul connections, people that we care deeply for, this card to me is extremely healing because the Archangel Raphael does rule over healing. So whether it's mental healing, emotional healing, physical healing, when I see the Magician with the Lovers, it's like I am at peace, I am in control, I got this. So there is this certain energy of problem solving here too, where it's like we figured it out, or I got that sorted out, or everything's fine now. So I think this is really good. Depending on how these conversations go, of course, but beautiful energy here right on the back end. So much spiritual energy around you, so much spiritual protection. Really like this. Now is actually a very good time for interpersonal relationships of any kind. I could say that, like with how we got the double pages, calm, collected conversation, then this on the back end, great for any relationship issue you might be going through, even if you're cross watching for Aries. So, like, things smooth out. But let's go through, I'll do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. I like it. There's some things we need to just keep an eye on in the front, but overall, I really like how it ends. If we look here in the box, position number one, we got the Hermit with the Page of Pentacles. Now, can this be a surprising or unexpected talk? Absolutely. That could be the case with what we got going on here. To me, it did feel a lot like someone planning out a conversation ahead of time, where it's like I'm choosing my words carefully. I'm choosing how I'm going to approach this. So it's not haphazard, even though the talk, like from one person's end, is going to come off a little surprising. It's at least planned from the other way. In the center, we have the Page of Swords with the Five of Wands in reverse, not very reactive. So again, if someone springs a combo or a communication on you and you don't know how to respond to it for whatever reason, take your time. There's no rush. It's like just mull it over, think it over. So it's like we have both ends being a little strategic and not very reactive, which can be good. Lots of planning for some reason. Moving to the back end, we have the Magician with the Lovers in the upright. Lovely. Great for any interpersonal relationship. Great spiritual, healing, protective energy overall. But to me, it's like problem solved, or uncomfortable energy solved here. So I love where this energy is heading overall. So whether you are watching this for work, business, or whatever it is, the energy is pushing in the right direction. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Eight of Cups. Now, this is a big action card, and classically, this card can represent walking away, giving up, stuff like that. Remember, it's in the shadows. This could be a flight response of some kind coming from someone. So remember how I was saying here with the communication, it's very important to like think something over, mull it over, don't jump too quick. The shadow side of the Eight of Cups can do that from time to time, where it's like a flight response, where it's like something happens and boom, I'm right to action. And that's something that us Aries could do from time to time. We can be very reactive. So I would watch out for that. The Eight of Cups isn't always just walking away from the eight. A lot of times it's moving towards the nine. So again, the energy is moving in a good direction. But this card can sometimes represent giving up, abandonment. So there could be certain things, certain chapters that you might be trying to close out in this time. And that's okay. That's all part of the natural flow of life, right? But yeah, the big overall theme I'm picking up here with anything is to not react to things too quickly, where it's like, think it over, think it over, think it over, chew on this. So we're going to leave it right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.